most. Hi, my name is Emily. I'm a young adult and I'm a very friendly person who loves animals. I was born with a rare genetic disorder called Prader-Willi syndrome. It's a disorder that makes you overeat because you never feel full. I'm on a strict calorie count diet to manage it, but there's no cure for it yet. I'm currently in the MOST program. They are helping to build up my resume by offer work experience to gain meaningful employment and not just a job. I'm also engaged to my fiance, John. He's so cute. And we have a lot in common. I want to share my life and life of others with disabilities and the challenges we face every day. I want the world to be accepting and understanding for people, yes, people like us. My guest this week is my very good friend and who I met at a PWS event that is for disability. I found out during the time that I've known her, we've had a lot in common. Please welcome my friend Jenny. How are you doing today, Jenny?
Good, I'm doing fine, doing great.
That's good to hear. Glad you could come on.
I am too.
As always, if there is anything you do not wish to share, you are more than welcome not to. This is a pressure-free zone. Say what you would like to share that you are comfortable with sharing. So, Jenny, tell the audience a little bit about the fair that you volunteered at in the Montgomery County.
Well, I volunteered in the rabbit farm. I helped them sell their rabbits, and I brought the rabbits to the front for people to pet while they go through. And now I'm helping with judging. I bring projects to a judge for them to judge.
Cool. What animals and shows and attractions do they have at the fair?
Well, it's an all animal farm. So there's llamas, there's sheep, there's sometimes alpacas, there's sometimes sharks, and there's cows, chickens. There's a chicken barn where you can go and see baby chickens hatch from their eggs. And there's also an old McDonald's barn where you go and you can see calves and the recent calf birthing. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you can see an actual cow being born.
Cool. What kind of food stalls and shopping do they have at the fair?
Well, if you want snacks, there's a chili barn where you get caramel apple, fudge, turtle, popcorn. And if you go farther back in that area, there's this big vendor of candy that people can buy by the pound. There's fried foods there that you can get, funnel cakes, and you can get corn on the cob, and you can get barbecue, which that's my favorite. And you can also also a big cheese where you can get nachos,
which is also our favorite.
And nachos, which is also a favorite of mine. And you can get chicken, you can get pizza, you can get a lot of food, and you can buy a lot of neat
little knickknacks.
Yeah, and it's also, you can go on rides at the kind of fair because it's also a carnival where you can go on rides.
What kind of rides do they have there?
Well, there's one that's my personal favorite, which you get really dizzy on, but it's called
the vertigo.
not the vertigo, but the one that you feel like you're in vertigo, but you're really not. There's spaceship, and there's high swings. There's just a lot of
There's
fun.
also the drop and the
drop.
fireball.
Yeah. Which the fireball is not really my favorite one.
Your favorite, but it's not my favorite. I love that one. What made you want to submit your cross stitch and other crafts into the fair?
Well, I would say skeptical at first, and then my parents gave me courage to actually submit them because and my grandmother, they all said that I do really good handiwork, so they encouraged me to enter, and I've been doing well. I've entered cross stitch pictures. I've entered rainbow loom, which I made little vegetables out of rubber bands. I've made diamond dot pictures.
Which ones do you remember that was the most challenging to make?
Most challenging? Probably the rainbow loom vegetables, because I had to put little beads on rubber bands, and that took a long time to pull them onto the rubber bands. Cross stitch is not really hard, but it's time consuming.
Right.
So, yeah.
What made you want to become a judge at the fair?
Well, I'm not really a judge. I'm more of a judge's helper. I'm more of a volunteer.
Gotcha.
Doing the projects for the judges to judge.
Gotcha. What kind of things did you have to help them with?
Well, I was in a certain section.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the cross stitch section, so I would go on each category. I would go and find the number 1, and I go through all of them, and I find a specific one, and I have to cover their names so the judges see exactly who belongs to that specific picture.
Gotcha.
And then I give it to them, and then they judge it, and then I have to put the ribbon back on the project and put it back with the tag on top of it.
Gotcha. Cool. What challenges did you face being a judge helper?
Having the desserts nearby that you can actually, the judges gets to try like the food and desserts that the other contestants did for judging. So we get to sample them, and it was hard to like have that there and judge. It was more of a patience to find a perfect stopping point that we could have something. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Why did you choose to work at the rabbit barn?
It's because I love rabbits, and it was also a 4-H. There was a lot of 4-Hers there, and it was the 4-H barn place that the 4-H people usually go. And I was in 4-H for like a long time, since I was little, or since I was in high school.
Wow. What tasks did you have to do in the rabbit barn?
Tests. I had to know the anatomy of the bunny, and I had to know all of the body parts of it. I had to know every default that the rabbit would have to disqualify it. Yeah, because one part of the thing for judging, I had to place. They gave us 4 rabbits, and I had to place them in order from 1 to 4, and I had to place them in order. So I had to find if they had buck teeth or if they had a missing toenail, or if it was the wrong sex. So sometimes people try to put rabbits in that are not the correct sex.
Oh.
Yeah. They say that this is a male, and then nope, it's a female. So that would be disqualification.
Gotcha.
And then there's also like all the breeds that are there. And I don't know all the breeds.
What else did you like about working in the rabbit barn?
I liked being able to find breeders that I knew and asking them if I was allowed to take their rabbits out to put it on the table with artificial green on them so the rabbits can hop
around and let people pet them.
Yeah, and also to help breeders sell their rabbits.
Gotcha. Cool.
Which I was one of them. When I was in high school, I had to sell my baby rabbits because I bred my rabbit twice, and I had to sell all the rabbits in the fair.
Gotcha.
And it's also the most popular barn at the fair.
Yes, it most definitely is. Have you had any experiences taking care of animals before?
Yes, I've had a pet rabbit, which I had a female, and my leader of the 4-H thought it would be a good idea for me to a good experience for me to breed my rabbit. Mm-hmm. So I bred her, and I had to take care of all the rabbits before we judged them. And our living room was basically, it looked like a rabbit barn.
Oh, wow.
Because she had 6 baby bunnies, so they were stacked up, and it looked like a barn because there was cages stacked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
What other pets did you have had taken care of other than the bunnies?
I've taken care of people's pet dogs when they go on vacation. I currently have a pet fish that I take care of. That's my own.
What is your favorite thing at the fair other than celebrating your birthday during the fair?
Well, sometimes I haven't done this in a couple of years, but there's usually a smash derby, which I like to go see, where there's a ton of old cars and they have a contest and they smash into other cars. It's sort of like bumper cars. Cool. And you have to be the last person standing, that engine still works.
Oh, cool.
By the end. So by the end of the whole thing, the whole ground is like a graveyard of cars.
Cool. How do you like celebrating your birthday?
I like celebrating my birthday with 2 friends of mine. I like spending time with Heather there, and I also like spending time with you.
Yes, I like doing that too.
Walking around, and I like how my grandma goes with my mom, and then I walk around with my friend Heather, and then I also like when our parents walk by themselves and we get to walk by ourselves.
Me too. I like that as well.
Sometimes we see cow births before our parents.
Yes. Sometimes we have that.
You just like, hey, you just missed a calf birth.
Yes, I remember telling our parents that I remember seeing that one little black calf that was born.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah.
How do you like knowing that you have a friend that has the same disability as you?
I really like that I have a friend that has a lot in common, and it's also easy knowing that there's a lot more people out there with the same disability.
I highly agree with you on that. Have you taken any part in any medical studies regarding our disability?
No.
Are you ever interested in trying to do one?
Maybe. If my parents are okay with it.
Gotcha. Is there any advice that you can give others who want to achieve their dreams?
Keep at it and have patience and just conquer it like you're conquering a mountain.
Gotcha. Well, with that, I think we can call this an episode. I want to thank Jenni for taking time out of her day to talk to me about her experiences. Do you have any final comments, Jenni?
No, I do not.
Well, again, thanks for coming on here. I really glad you could finally come on and be part of my podcast.
You're welcome.
If you have any questions, be sure to email us at adultingwithmost@gmail.com. And again, thank you for coming on, Jenni, and thank you for listening to Adulting with Most. Check out the YouTube channel, Adulting with Most, for the video version of the podcast, as well as how-to videos with Patrick. I've been your host, Emily, and until next time, stay positive.